All right, hello everyone. We're going to look at 45, 45, 90 triangles, which I have right here. And then after this, we'll do some problems with 30, 60, 90 triangles. So this would be the problem right here. They would tell you that this side is 2, and they ask you for one of these. They might label this A and B or Y and X. They might ask you for just one or both of the sides. But the point is, if you only know one side, how can you find the other two sides? And I want you to look at this right here. This is like the basic. I don't always teach to do it this way. I actually do this a kind of faster way in my head, but I think taking this is the easiest way to both teach and learn how to do this. If you do enough, you get a hang of it, you find a shorter method, that's fine. But for now, let's just do this. So this right here is the generic 45, 45, 90. And so you look at what they gave you. They gave you a 2 right here. So I want you to take this and compare it to all these sides. So if this is a 2, this is supposed to be compared to the original. This is X. This is also X. And this right here will be X times root 2. All right? I'm just taking this and copying what's over here. So look right here. X is what this side is, and this side is 2. So for this problem, we know for this problem that X equals 2. So now let's just plug in what we know. Well, this side is X, and X equals 2. So this side is 2. And this side is X times root 2. So take this, it'll be 2 root 2. There we go. We just solved every side. That simple. Now, what would we do if instead the 2 was right here? This is where it can get a little bit more challenging, because now this side is supposed to be X. This side is supposed to be X. And this side is supposed to be X times root 2. Okay, so now X times root 2 equals X times root 2 is 2. So what you'll do, you'll set up a problem over here that says X times root 2 equals 2. Now let's solve to get X alone. So divide both sides by root 2. So now X equals 2 over root 2. We would like to leave our answer there and call that good enough. However, you cannot have root 2 on bottom. So what you're going to need to do, the reason this will work, imagine if you did this. What's root 9 times root 9? You could either think of that as 3 times 3, which would equal 9, or you could think of that as the square root of 81, which would equal 9. What about root 4 times root 4? That's either the square root of 16, which equals 4, or it's 2 times 2, which equals 4. Do you see how this works? If you do square root times square root, it just gets rid of the root. So let's go ahead and do that on purpose to this. So let's get rid of the square root. Let's do square root of 2 on bottom, but if you do it on bottom, you also have to do it on top. Again, the whole purpose is because you're not allowed to have a square root on the bottom. So square root 2 times square root of 2, the roots cancel each other out as we just established, and we would have 2. And then on top, it's just 2 times root 2. So we have 2 times root 2. We have 2 root 2, and on bottom we have a 2. You can't hardly see that. Okay. So then what's 2 over 2? Well, that would just be 1. So my final answer is X equals square root of 2. Okay? So up here, let's remember that X for this is square root of 2. So we already did, when you put square root of 2 in there, it equals 2, but we already knew that that's 2. So plug X in right there, square root of 2. So this answer is square root of 2. And then this side is square root of 2. Okay? So you see how for 45, 45, 90, you just take this generic form and you just take the one side they give you, solve for X, and then plug in X on the other 3 sides. Okay, let's do the exact same kind of problem. But now let's say it's like this. Let's say we're doing a 30, 60, 90, and there's a 2 over here. Okay, now on 30, 60, 90, the generic format I want you to use across from 30, we call this the short side. This will just be x. Across from 60, we call that the long side. That'll be x root 3. And across from 90, that will be 2x, okay? I guess I kind of messed up my drawing because this looks longer than that, which really messes it up. So let's go ahead and do this right. So it should look something more like this. There we go. That's more reasonable. Now you can tell that this is the long side, short side, and hypotenuse. That's more reasonable. There we go. If we're going to do geometry, we should at least care about the shapes, right? All right. So this is the long side. This is the short side. This is hypotenuse. Look at the relationship. Long side, we call it x root 3. Short side would be x. Hypotenuse would be 2x. So let's take this and let's write what's supposed to be what over here. All right. So we know that the side that's supposed to be x root 3 is currently 2. So let's move over here so I can do some work. So just set it up. 2 is what this side is, and it's supposed to be x root 3. So right now, x equals 2 root 3, but we're not allowed to have root 3 on bottom. So root 3 over root 3. So 2 root 3 is what's left on top. And on bottom, root 3 times root 3 just becomes a 3. So x equals 2 root 3 over 3. So for this problem, x is 2 root 3 over 3. So now plug that into each one. If you would have plugged it in right here, you can double check it yourself. But if you plug 2 root 3 into 3 over here, you'll get 2 as an answer. If you do it right here, you'll just get 2 root 3 over 3. So this one is 2 root 3 over 3. That's the answer right here. And then over here, we would have 2 times 2 root 3 over 3. And so 2 times 2 is 4. So our final answer right here is 4 root 3 over 3. Our final answer down here is 2 root 3 over 3. And our answer up here was 2. Okay? Let's go ahead and go to the same problem again. And let's go ahead and say this side is 2. Okay, now just for those of you that feel like you understand this well, what I would honestly do the moment I see this, cut that in half, you get 1, multiply it by root 3, you get 1 root 3, or root 3. I would just see this and come up with it myself. But let's go ahead and do this the longer method. That's the more surefire way to do it. So this is supposed to be 2x. This is supposed to be x. And this is supposed to be x root 3. So now let's go ahead and say the side that was 2x, we have a 2. So this will be 2 equals 2x. Okay, look at that. X equals 1. So this is what x equals. So x equals 1 is for our whole problem. So plug in a 1 right there, and we get 1 as the answer. Plug in a 1 right there, and we get 1 root 3, or that's just the same as root 3 as the answer. And then we're done. Okay, so this is why for these, eventually you get to where you do it in your head. You see this? Just cut it in half, and you get your short side. Multiply it by root 3, and you get your long side. Okay? And then my last example, because I want you to see from every possibility what you would do. Now let's do this. The short side is 2. So again, 2 root 3 will be your answer here. 4 will be over here. I'm literally just saying times root 3 and times 2. But let's go ahead and do it using this method right here. So 2 is the side that's supposed to be x. Over here is going to be 2x. And over here is going to be root 3 times x. Okay? So we know for this problem that x equals 2. No problem solving required because the side that's supposed to equal x is already a 2. Simple enough. So up here, let's do 2 times 2, and we get 4. And over here, let's do 2 times root 3, and we get 2 root 3. Okay? So that is how you'll do every single problem. Again, sometimes you're going to get a question that's 45, 45, 90. Sometimes it's going to be 30, 60, 90. Sometimes they ask for both sides. Sometimes they just ask for one side. But that is how you will do it, regardless of what kind of problem they give you.